The story of the man in the Iron Mask is one of the most enduring and intriguing mysteries in history, one that has captivated writers, historians, and curious minds for centuries. But what is the real story behind this enigmatic individual? And how much do we truly know about the man in the Iron Mask? The mystery begins. Man in the Iron Mask is believed to have been a prisoner held in the Bastille and other French prisons during the reign of King Louis XIV in the 17th century. His story, though, is shrouded in layers of secrecy, and despite many investigations and speculations, the true identity of the man has never been definitively established. The central mystery of the man in the Iron Mask is not just about who he was, but also why he was imprisoned, why he was forced to wear a mask, and why his identity was kept. The story of the man in the Iron Mask as we know it today largely comes from the writings of the French writer Voltaire, who in his Siècle de Louis XIV, the century of Louis XIV, first presented the idea that the masked man was a noble figure, possibly even a twin brother of Louis XIV himself. However, Voltaire's theories were speculative, and over the years, various other theories have emerged, ranging from the plausible to the completely fantastical. The historical context. To understand the story of the man in the Iron Mask, it's important to consider the historical context of 17th century France. The reign of King Louis XIV, also known as the Sun King, was marked by his absolute control over the French monarchy. Louis XIV was a powerful ruler who believed in the divine right of kings, meaning that he saw himself as appointed by God to rule. His reign, which lasted from 1643 until his death in 1715, is often considered the epitome of absolute monarchy. Louis XIV's court at Versailles was a symbol of this absolute power, and the king's image and reputation were carefully guarded. The period was also one of intense political intrigue and power struggles, both within the royal family and among the nobility. The mystery of the man in the Iron Mask emerged against this backdrop of secrecy and court politics. The known facts. While much about the man in the Iron Mask remains unknown, there are several known facts about his imprisonment. He was held in various prisons, including the Bastille, the fortress of Pignerol, and the fortress of Sainte Marguerite, between the late 1660s and his death in 1703. The prisoner's name is never recorded in the official documents of the time, and he is only referred to as Eustache Dauger in some of the prison records. The man's identity was so carefully guarded that even the guards and attendants who interacted with him were bound by strict confidentiality, and any mention of his name was forbidden. The mask itself is one of the central mysteries of the story. Some accounts suggest that it was made of iron, while others suggest that it may have been made of velvet or other materials. The most famous image of the mask is that of an iron mask, which is thought to have been used to prevent the prisoner from revealing his identity, though some theories suggest that the mask was not intended to hide his face entirely but rather to obscure it in such a way that he could not be easily recognized. Theories about the man's identity. Over the centuries, numerous theories have been proposed about the true identity of the man in the Iron Mask. Some of these theories have focused on the idea that the masked man was a royal or noble figure, possibly related to Louis XIV himself. Here are some of the most prominent theories. The twin brother theory. One of the most famous theories is that the man in the Iron Mask was actually the twin brother of King Louis XIV. According to this theory, the king's mother, Anne of Austria, gave birth to twins, but one of the twins was secretly hidden away to prevent him from challenging Louis XIV's claim to the throne. The theory suggests that the masked man was the twin who was kept in prison to maintain the secrecy of his existence. This theory is primarily based on the writings of Voltaire, who argued that the twin brother theory could explain why the prisoner was treated with such secrecy and why his face was hidden behind a mask. Voltaire's suggestion was that Louis XIV's mother and advisors feared that the existence of a second king could create a political crisis, so they decided to imprison the twin for the rest of his life. However, there is little evidence to support this theory, and it remains speculative. The political prisoner theory. Another theory suggests that the man in the iron mask was not a royal figure at all, but rather a political prisoner who posed a threat to the crown. Some historians believe that the masked man was a nobleman involved in a plot against Louis XIV, perhaps one of the many intrigues that characterized the time. The man may have been a victim of the political maneuvering of the court, perhaps a rival who was seen as a danger to the king's power. This theory is supported by the fact that many individuals were imprisoned by Louis XIV for political reasons, and it would not have been unusual for a political rival or conspirator to be kept in secrecy. However, this theory does not explain why the prisoner would have been forced to wear a mask. The brother of Cardinal Mazarin theory. Some researchers have speculated that the man in the iron mask was the brother of Cardinal Mazarin, the chief minister to Louis XIV. Cardinal Mazarin was one of the most powerful figures in France during Louis XIV's early reign, and he had significant influence over the young king. According to this theory, Mazarin's brother was imprisoned because he was seen as a potential threat or because of his involvement in political machinations. However, there is no substantial evidence to support this claim, and it remains a fringe theory. The other theories over the years, other theories have emerged, each more outlandish than the last. Some have suggested that the man in the iron mask was a foreign prince, a disgraced nobleman, or even a military leader who had been captured in battle. There have been suggestions that the prisoner was an illegitimate son of Louis XIV, or even a victim of a dynastic dispute within the royal family. Still, none of these theories have gained widespread acceptance among historians. The legacy of the man in the iron mask. Despite the lack of definitive answers, the story of the man in the iron mask has become an indelible part of popular culture. The tale has been adapted into numerous works of fiction, including novels, films, and plays. Perhaps the most famous fictional account of the story is Alexandre Dumas's The Vicomte de Bragelonne, which is the third part of his celebrated The Three Musketeers saga. In Dumas's novel, the mystery of the man in the iron mask plays a central role, and the story has been retold in various forms on stage. Dumas's portrayal of the masked man as a royal twin of Louis XIV has shaped much of the modern imagination of the story, and his influence is still felt in popular depictions of the mystery. Many readers and viewers are drawn to the idea of a hidden royal, a secret twin who could have changed the course of history. In the end, the real story of the man in the iron mask is likely to remain a mystery. While the historical facts are known, the man's identity and the reasons behind his imprisonment remain elusive. Nevertheless, the intrigue surrounding the story continues to captivate people to this day. Whether he was a forgotten royal, a political prisoner, or a victim of courtly intrigue, the man in the iron mask will always be a figure shrouded in secrecy, forever a symbol of the power and mystery that surrounded the reign of Louis XIV. Final thoughts. The real story of the man in the iron mask may never be fully revealed. Though numerous theories and investigations have been conducted over the years, the truth remains obscured by time and political secrets. What is clear, however, is that the story of the masked man continues to captivate the imagination. In his silence, in his confinement, and in the mystery surrounding his identity, the man in the iron mask remains one of history's most intriguing figures, a symbol of hidden power, royal intrigue, and the complex world of 17. Ultimately, the tale of the man in the iron mask reminds us of the power of secrets and the lengths to which people will go to protect them. Whether the masked man was a royal twin, a political prisoner, or someone else entirely, the legend endures because of its compelling mixture of history, mystery, and the imagination of those who seek to uncover the truth.